This video is for educational purposes only. Options Geek LLC is not a broker-dealer. Options Geek LLC and Felix Fry are not registered investment advisors. Options involve substantial risk and are not suitable for everyone. Please consult your own investment advisor before doing any trading. Make sure you read the full disclaimer at the end of this episode. Hey everyone, today's trade alert is NIO. Let's take a look. So we land on the home page here, right? I'm always going to start in this area. I'm going to click 100 results. I'm also going to take a look at I'm going to sort by right here by the ask side, above ask or ask side. So these are all, generally, they're all going to be buyers of options here. On occasion, you can get it can pop up on the ask and it's actually a sale. But for the most part, these are going to be buyers. And the first one is Expedia. That had earnings today. Stock's down pretty big. There's some call buying, but it's a Friday tomorrow option. I'm going to stay away from that. Then there's NIO. NIO, August 18, 15 calls. And again, it pops up down here. So 15 calls. I'm just going to take a look at NIO here. And the immediately I see the August 4 calls. The stock is up 9%. So there's got to be some news here. And it looks like the August 4th, tomorrow options are active, but this August 18th stands out because earnings are on the 16th. So somebody wants to buy some calls. I know that they've been buying calls over the last couple of days. Let's call it 2 weeks. Here, you can click on this open interest and you see this right here? See how the open interest started climbing a little bit here. It's going up. They've been buying right here, back and forth. It's been a little bit of back and forth. You can see it's going from July 13th was a bump here. So it went from 14,000 to the open interest about 22,000. But they've been adding these NIO calls, and you could see back here, if you want to go historically and start seeing how the volume came in and the open interest was gradually moving higher. So call buying over the last 2 weeks here in NIO, options have gone from like 30 cents, 20 cents, all the way up to a $1.80 here. They're still buying these things here today. And you could see if I'm going to do August 18th, I could just sort by expiration here, August 18th, 15 calls. So here, above ask at 958, 956, sorry, 956. So they came in, they bought these at 139, 143, at 1031, 1035, 1049. You could see they're coming in with different blocks here. They bought about 3,300, 2,000. That's another 2,000, 4,000, 7,300 plus 17,900, 9,000, and then another, let's call it 1050. So probably altogether they've bought, let's call it 11,000 here today, 11,000 the August 15 calls. With stock at 1547. Stock's a little bit higher right now. So this was, again, about 45 minutes ago, but they're coming after these things. Let's take a look at here quickly. The stock, the company announced strong deliveries, plus 100% year over year growth. And one thing that was interesting, they were talking about the release of the SUV that they did in May, and the price cuts in June helped stimulate demand. So that was interesting, and that's why the stock is actually up today. I'm going to look here. Where are we? So 18,000 traded on the day. Let's look at the August 18s. So I get onto the new options chain here, and I'm looking at August 18th. Okay, vol is up here. So implied vols are up. That means the demand is there for these options. And it's been there. It's been climbing for a couple of weeks now. But this is the 15 calls, 19,000 on the day, 22 open interest. And there are buyers. The RR dollars, 17.92 with stock here. It's probably about 17. I saw about 17.75. The idea is if somebody's paying these prices, they got to be thinking 17.92 or higher. Actually higher, because this is 17.92 is that risk reward break even, where nobody should really care over time. You keep finding these bets, nothing's gonna, you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. But when you start finding target stock prices above this, that's when you can buy these options. That's the reasoning behind buying the options. So if I plug in 18, I get the 14 and a half. So let me go a little bit higher. And I'm right there at about, and that brought me to the 15 and a half. So 18 and a half gets me right there. So 18 and a half is a target stock price. I can close this. This is just telling me it's about in the money options because we're already in the money here. The 18 and a half is how I get the point to there. So this guy is thinking 18 and a half. So 18 gets me the 14 and a half. Okay. So I'm probably thinking more about 18 and a half, 18 and a half. And then what about gets me to 15? What about 19? 19 gets me to 15 and a half. But if I reduce my confidence level a little bit, you see I'm down at 15. So that's just, he might think 19, but say, you know what? I might be pushing a little bit, but 19, what if I reduce my confidence? The right strike is 15. So from this, we gather that this guy is thinking 18 and a half, 19, 18 and a half, 19. So if I go to my chart, I always start with the weeklies, and go back in time just to remember the history. Remember, every stock has these characteristics, has history. So I just want to look at it and get an idea and immediately see, okay, yeah, I remember this. This was the huge rally, and then it's been straight down here. The one thing I do notice that I always like to pay attention to is see the volume here, big volume, big volume, big volume. We didn't really get to see that here, which is interesting. It's starting to move up without this, all this volume coming out over here. That means people have staying power here. They've just bought it. They're holding it. They're going to hold it for 10 years is the thought, right? That's what they were saying over here. But it is surprising to not have seen this type of volume over here. And it's starting to make its move back. It's above the 50 weekly moving average, approaching the 200 moving average. And it's going through some resistance here. You could see the resistance. I think it's pretty clear on the weekly. You have some 14 resistance here, but that goes all the way back into 2022. So you have this here, here, breaking out 14. The next step is, can it get to 24? Why not? Right. I mean, you're talking about China waking up and they're no longer trying to kill every company on that they have, and they're going to add stimulus. So, why couldn't this start moving higher? I was always under the impression that China would want to help their car companies as opposed to Tesla and every other company that wants to sell to the Chinese consumer. So, China's all about themselves. They want their products sold to not only to their consumers, but also to take the NIO brand to Europe and ultimately the United States. It's if we let you sell the cars here, we want to be able to sell NIO cars over there. We want you promoting our cars as well. It's interesting now that it's starting to move here. And can you see 24? I don't see why not, to be honest. I don't see why not. But let's take a look at a little bit more of I then go from weekly and then I switch to the daily because we're dealing with 2-week options. So, 2 years is 2 years. And, we're looking at the next 2 weeks. You still have the same lines. It just makes it a little bit clearer as to potentially what you can get. And immediately what I'm looking at here is, yes, I do see this sort of line here. The line here at about 14 and a half, 14 and a half. But I also see sort of this, it's starting to go a little bit exponential here. This curvature, we're starting to move higher on the block here. Okay. And this move from 10 and a half to 13 and a half was about $3. So, why couldn't it go $3, up this way? This is 3, that's 3. And voila, shouldn't be too surprised after doing this for a while, but we get to exactly what we're seeing on the new options chain. So that's sort of how I'm looking at this thing. Call it 18 and a half, 19, which is, this is going exponential technically here. Can it get to here? Yeah, I mean, sure, why not? But this, you're talking about 2 weeks. You do have earnings. We do have earnings coming up. And so yeah, that's the setup. I like it. It looks pretty good. We want to see strong volume for the rest of the day. Hold 14 and a half, right? This is the level here, 14 and a half. So that's a setup. That's what people are buying. They've been buying these NIO calls since right around here, and they continue to buy today. That's it for today. Make sure you smash the like button and comment, ask questions, and don't forget to join the Top 1% Club. The link is in the description.